Oh, look at that. I am live and I don't know who's going to show up because I picked an opportune time to go live on Facebook at 10:05 p.m. All right, let me tweet this link. I don't even know what I'm talking about. I don't know. I'm a pretty boring person. I haven't been doing anything. All right, let's see. Share on Twitter. Somebody's here. Hi, person who's here. Who are you? Say hello in the chat. I picked the best time to go live on YouTube. 2 people are here. Whoa. What's Diz? Jillian, what's shaking? How are you? How are things in Salem? Let's see. Going live at the most opportune time on a Saturday night. Send tweet. Things are great so far. How's your husband and his place of employment? Everything still cool? Because I know that was a concern probably still is a concern. I don't know. So I decided to grab a drink from my fridge, and apparently my wife bought a 12-pack of hard seltzer. So that's where I'm at in life right now. Going live on YouTube at 10:05 p.m. on a Saturday and drinking hard seltzer. It's pretty good, though. I didn't pay for it. So. Things are good. Seem to be better now that people aren't too crazy anymore. Excellent. Well, I'm glad people aren't too crazy up there because, Georgia, it's not a... I'm just going to put it out. People could be wearing their masks. People could be wearing their masks. They could be wearing their masks. Anyway. So Jillian is here. There's another person here. Who's person number 2? Say hello in the chat if you're not shy. We won't bite. Jillian's cool. I can vouch for her. Yeah, I hope we get a mandate as well. Hey, I got a new subscriber, Disney Adulting. Hey, Disney Adulting. If you're watching, thanks for the sub. I really appreciate it. Yeah, I hope we get a mandate too. I think we need it, but it's been a weird time in the state of Georgia. So I know that Disney World opened back up today officially. Well, Magic Kingdom and Animal Kingdom, they've been doing cast previews, and I've kind of been seeing people go to the cast previews. And then there was the infamous duck video of 2020. But today, as far as like being the first day open, I haven't really read much of anything because I've been away from the internet. Did anything happen that I should know? Did something crazy happen and I just haven't heard about it yet? Or should I just open Twitter? I should probably just open Twitter. I wonder if I should share the link on my Facebook page. I don't think anyone goes to the Facebook page. A horse got spooked by a balloon. Was the balloon trying to capture the horse? There's a live streamer who was vomiting severely and is planning on oh no. Wait a minute. So that makes total sense. Sean Roselle from Negro Orlando sent me a tweet because I said I was planning on going live and streaming, and he responded and said, "Make sure that you're not sick." And I didn't know what he meant. So now I totally understand that tweet, because my follow-up was just not, my follow-up comment had nothing to do with that. Oh, Skipper Bob, how's it going? Thanks for joining the live stream. I don't do this very often. I did it like early quarantine, and I haven't done it in about like 2 or 3 months. So I figured I'm at home. I'm not doing anything. I'd crack open a drink. Wait, it's a crap open a drink. Disregard that. Crack open a drink and just say hi. So, Did something just make a noise? Felt like something in my room just made a noise. Oh well. So what's going on, Skipper Bob? What's going on with you, buddy? How's it going? I can't believe somebody was live streaming, and then I have to look this up. This is crazy. Crap open. So you're having a White Claw. I'm not having a White Claw. I'm having a Scofflaw hard seltzer, and my justification was that it was in the fridge, and apparently my wife bought it. So I didn't pay for it. I'll drink it. Oh, thanks for retweeting the link, Jillian. I appreciate that. I'll retweet it too, so we can have like some weird tweetception thing going on. For people here, if you're in the chat or if you're here watching, say hey. Figured I'd probably stream for 30 minutes, an hour, depending on. We'll see where the conversation takes us. Dig the Ghostbusters Sea. Oh yeah, thanks, man. This is here, I'll get a shot of it. Boom. This is Fright Rags. The Fright Rags is a really cool website, and I'm not sponsored by them in any way. I just think they have really cool stuff, and they are for certain, or I am for certain a mark for Fright Rags, because anytime they release something new, I always feel like I find one shirt that I want, and they're specialty t-shirts, so they're not cheap. They're like probably like $26, $27, but you could always usually find like a 10% off coupon. So I got this one. There's another Ghostbusters one I got, and then just the other day, I saw that they did really cool Universal Monster vintage. I don't think they were ringer tees, but they were just like solid faded shirts with like a little cartoon emblem of a Universal Monster on it, and I got the creature from the Black Lagoon. It just looks really cool. RT is the best. I'm looking for Universal Monsters apparel for our trip. Just ordered some masks. I almost bought a Universal Monsters face mask the other day. I was going to get some from TeePublic, and I decided not to, like, right at the last minute, because, and this is going to sound very nitpicky, since I wear glasses, I have to have the masks with the little metal rod so I can form it to the shape of my nose. Otherwise, when I exhale, my glasses just get fogged up, and it is incredibly annoying. So I'm sure if any of you watching are glasses wearers, you probably feel my pain. So Etsy, $20. I think I might send me that link. Send me that link. If you not right now, you don't have to. Just when you think about it, send me that link. I might give them a look see. But yeah, so I have to be like super picky. And then I just realized that apparently you can just buy 100 of the little nose clips or like little nose rods, and I can just put them on the masks that I already have. So that's probably what I'm going to do. Yeah, I would really like a Universal Monsters mask. I've been sporting a Baby Yoda mask lately. My wife, she actually ordered it off of Etsy for one of her friends, but the mask ended up being way too big. And I was like, wait a minute, so you're just going to return it? She's like, no, I don't want to return this. I'm like, well, can I have it? She's like, yeah, here you go. Like, yes. So I have a the child / Baby Yoda is what I've been rocking. 5 people in the chat. Feel free to say hello in the chat and join us. I'm sure Bob and Jillian won't bite. What houses am I expecting for Halloween Horror Nights? So this is always a tricky one for me. So the question was, what houses am I expecting for Halloween Horror Nights? The truth is, I don't know. I don't follow Halloween Horror Nights as a James. What's happening, buddy? I think it's pretty cool that you popped in. How's it going? I haven't really been following Horror Nights. I believe it or not, I've never been to a Horror Nights. I want to go, and I've been trying to convince my wife to go. We were this close from going last year, and we didn't. And I kind of kicked myself because I really wanted to go see that Ghostbusters house, but I really don't know. I really don't know. Speculation as far as like houses go. I know that. I don't know, maybe a Halloween was in the works because the Halloween movie was supposed to come out this October, but they've since pushed it back due to COVID. So, God, I really don't know. I'm sorry. I know that's not the answer. That's the exciting answer, but I truly don't. Oh, what would I like to see? You know what? I want to see a Monster Squad house. It'll never happen. Never happen. Never happen. But I want a Monster Squad house, and I want a scare actor dressed up like the Wolfman, and then another actor dressed up like the kid, and he's just kicking him in the junk, and he just yells, "Wolfman has nards." That's what I want. That's what I want in a house. We got tickets for HHN first time ever this year. Figure it's a good time to go with the spacing. I hope Bill and Ted's comes back. I think Bill and Ted's. I feel like something will happen with Bill and Ted's because the movie trailer just dropped like what 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, something like that. Believe it or not, I've actually never seen Bogus Journey. I've only ever seen Excellent Adventure. Should probably go back and rewatch the first one and then watch the second one for the first time. I don't know why I haven't watched the second one. I guess it's just one of those things I never got around to. I'd love to see a dark crystal house with the Skeksis jumping out. Oh man, that would be amazing. That would be awesome too, because like what was it? Frank Oz did the voice for one of the main Skeksis, and it kept was it the sound that they kept on making the Funny story about about the dark crystal. So I used to work at a museum in Atlanta. That's a puppet museum, and they house a Jim Henson collection. So whenever I was in college, I was working there, but I was also doing an internship there at the same time, just in a different department. So I was working in the visitor services for the museum, but I was doing my internship in the collections archives department. And they house a Jim Henson collection. So whenever I worked there, we had a Skeksis, we had a Mystic, and a slew of other Dark Crystal and Labyrinth and Muppets and just like Creature Shop and Muppet stuff in general. So while I was doing my internship there, they were actually building a brand new museum space, and we had to what's the word I'm looking for? well, for lack of a better phrase, we had to deinstall. That's the word I was looking for. We had to deinstall the old exhibit because it was a very small exhibit space, and put everything away in the archives for 6-7 months while the new exhibit space was being built, and then we had to reinstall everything in the new exhibit space. So I was actually hands-on with a lot of these screen-used Muppets, and it was amazing. Like once, twice in a lifetime thing. Well, I mean, I guess more than once for me since I worked there, but so there we had a giant Mystic, and those things are huge. So it was in the exhibit storage or in the archive space, and the problem is 40 years ago, they didn't know that these things were going to survive and be in a museum space. So when they made these foam latex puppets, they just made them for one-time use, and then it ended up getting saved. So whenever the place that I worked for acquired all of these puppets, we put them in the storage space. But the Mystic had to, since he has a really long neck, he had to have his neck or his chin braced by a whole bunch of padding. And when we went to go and move them, we saw that the foam latex had just dried out so much. I mean, again, it's a 40-plus-year-old puppet. It had dried out so much that we couldn't move it. Otherwise, it would have destroyed the puppet. So it took 5 of us to lift the table it was on and take it from a 3rd floor down to a 1st floor. And I remember it probably took us about half an hour to get that Mystic just down those 2 floors. Excuse me. It was amazing to see those in person. So whenever I worked there, I would get there on Saturday mornings, and I would have to do a run through of the exhibit, and everything that was on the on exhibit was screen used. So it's something that one of the Muppeteers or the puppeteers, Jim Henson Muppeteers, used. So I thought that was really, really awesome. And regardless of not regardless, that's not the right word. Compared to what you see in the exhibit, there's so much more that they can rotate out. I was hands-on with so much. Cookie Monster. I was hands-on with the Cookie Monster. A lot of the Creature Shop stuff from the Storyteller that never really made it to America. I was able to archive a lot of that stuff and just condition check it to make sure that it's all in working order, so it wasn't like falling apart or anything, because a lot of those did fall apart. Just again, they weren't built to last. Like back in the 80s, if you would have told somebody in 2015, 2016 that they'd be put up in a museum and exhibit, they probably wouldn't have believed you. So, but Jillian, if you ever come down to Atlanta, that exhibit is permanent. It's not going anywhere. So it's kind of like the big draw for that museum. So if you end up coming to Atlanta, definitely check it out. I would wait till the post-pandemic era of Atlanta, until everything's over or over-ish, or as over as it can get. But yeah, I used to work there, and it was really fun. It was a fun job. I used to go to work and clock in and get paid to talk about Muppets. That's not really a terrible job. But yeah, no, I agree. I think a Dark Crystal House would be pretty cool. I'd be down. Sold. 4 people in the chat. Say hello if you haven't said hello yet. James, what are you up to tonight? Are you still in St. Augustine? I just watched your video. Oh, by the way, if you guys haven't subscribed to James's channel, Pretty Cool Vlog, go check him out, because he's one of my favorite vloggers, and he's a really cool guy, and he does a lot of really cool stuff. A lot of pretty cool stuff, I should say. So his vlog is pretty cool. It can't not be pretty cool, because pretty cool is in the title. So it's kind of pretty cool by default. Yeah, I just watched his recent blog, and they were at St. Augustine. I want to go to St. Augustine so bad, and every time I see James vlog St. Augustine, it just makes me want to go more. So, mission accomplished. That's what you were trying to get me to do. Thank you for sending me that tweet or the link, Jillian. I appreciate it. I want to go to St. Augustine. Obviously, I've heard a lot of the ghost stories of that town, especially with the lighthouse. I've seen the infamous Ghost Hunters episode, and while I know a lot of that stuff is strictly entertainment, I still want to go. I want to go check out that lighthouse. Back in the hometown now, St. Augustine's definitely pretty cool. You heard it here. Pretty Cool Vlog says it's pretty cool. And if he says that's pretty cool, it's got to be pretty cool. I want to go to the lighthouse, and I want to go treasure hunt in St. Augustine. Oh, excuse me. Man, this thing is like really kind of giving me some indigestion. I should probably not drink this. Nah, I'm going to drink it. Yeah, so I want to go treasure hunt in St. Augustine. Have you guys ever heard of a book from the 80s called The Secret? It's a completely different book from the one from like 15 years ago called The Secret, where it's like some kind of motivational self-help book. Two totally different books. There's another one called, let me see if I can find a link here. The Secret book, Treasure Hunt. I'll show you the cover here. No, images, not shopping. I mean, I should probably buy it at some point. All right, so this is the cover of the book. I think you can still find it on Amazon. It's going to give me a weird glare. There we go. Anyway, so apparently this dude had this idea in the early 80s to write a book about an actual treasure hunt. So what this guy did is he traveled across country, and he picked locations to bury this treasure. And the treasure itself is, I feel like it's, it does look like a Magic the Gathering card, doesn't it? I have some Magic the Gathering cards right over there because I am a nerd. I just split a box of Magic cards with a friend of mine, but I digress. So he picked like a handful of cities across the country, and he buried this treasure. The treasure itself is very small. It's like in a plexi block, and it looks like, I think it's supposed to be or look like a jewel of some sort. And then once you find the jewel, you can actually mail it to the address in the book, and they'll give you whatever the actual reward is, or whatever the actual reward for the treasure is. But of course, like, there's some hoops you have to jump through. So he traveled all the world and decided he picked the X amount of places that he wants to bury his treasure. And then he commissioned a painting where they hid clues of the locations for each of these cities and towns. And then each of the paintings has a poem that accompanies it. And the poem itself is like the word map of where so you have to decipher the poem and figure out where the poem is telling you to go, and then just start digging in hopes that the treasure is still there. And to this day, I believe, let me look, because I know some have been claimed. I don't know how many have been claimed. I think 3 or 4 out of 8 or 10. Let me see what Wikipedia has to say. Treasure boxes. Okay, there are 12 treasure boxes, and only 1, 2, 3 have been solved. One was solved in 1983. One was solved in 2004. And then one just as recently as last year in 2009. So there are still 9 of these treasures just out in the world. And I found out I found out about this book. I didn't know about it until I watched this episode. I don't know if you're familiar with a guy named Josh Gates. He had a show on Sci-Fi called Destination Truth, and I think that ran for like 2 or 3 seasons. Then he has a current show on Travel Channel called Expedition Unknown, and he did an episode on this book, and he talked to some of the people involved in writing the book, and obviously they have signed NDAs, so they can't tell you the answers or give you clues as to where the treasure is hidden. But one of the towns is allegedly, where they have made the painting in the poem, is allegedly St. Augustine. So somewhere in St. Augustine, there's probably multiple buried treasures in St. Augustine, just because I feel like that was also a pretty popular pirate port back in the golden age of piracy. But I also think that there's this guy's treasure just kind of somewhere in St. Augustine, and I don't know where it is. And I need to get the book because, but then again, I haven't been to St. Augustine, so I have no idea where I would be going. That was my very long-winded explanation of the book known as The Secret. I do want to get a copy of that book. I think, let's see. So the guy who wrote it was his name was Byron Priest, and it was written in 1982. But I think, if I'm remembering correctly, I think Byron Priest is no longer with us. Like, I think he died. Yeah, he died in 2005, and I think it was. I think he died in a car wreck. I could be making that up. Let me fact check myself on that. No, yep, traffic accident in New York. Yeah, so 82. I think it's really interesting that it came out in 82 because that was also, I feel like a lot of interesting things were happening in the early 80s as far as entertainment value goes. I think that's whenever like Dungeons and Dragons was kind of starting to gain popularity, even though it had been out for quite a while at that point. But I think a lot of movies started to have like fantasy or like that. Oh, what? I lost my train of thought. I'm sorry. Like that Lord of the Rings-esque, Dungeons and Dragons-esque fantasy, like Call of the Conqueror, I think, was around that time. And anyway, a lot of interesting sci-fi stuff was going on. Hey, Nate, what's happening, man? How are you? What's shaking? Paige and Mr. Morrow popping in on my live stream. How are you, buddy? I have yet to watch your video from Disney, so I'm planning on doing that later tonight. So haven't watched it yet, but it's in the queue. I got you. I haven't seen Call. I should probably watch Call. Like, God, Beastmaster was around that time, I feel. Was Beastmaster early 80s or mid 80s? I can't remember. I'm getting all of my Conan the Barbarian-esque 80s movies mixed up, which will happen. So, early 80s. Okay, that's what I thought. Is anything exciting happening around you guys tonight? I didn't do anything today. I take that back. I drove around a lot today. I still didn't do a lot of things while driving around. Four people in the chat. If you're new, say hi. Good, man. At work, just listening in the background. Cool, man. Well, I hope you're having a good work night. I hope it's not too busy or there isn't a busy workload your way this evening. Hope it's an easy night for you. I mowed the lawn. It was super hot outside. Man, it was really hot today. I say that, and I paused mid-sentence because even though it was hot today, yesterday was awful. We had a thunderstorm come through, and it just made everything nice and humid, which was disgusting. I felt like I stepped outside, and then I immediately had this like film of sweat all over my butt. It was gross. Film of sweat is a disgusting phrase that I just said on the internet. Had a really terrible restaurant. You had a really terrible restaurant experience. No, is it a restaurant that I need to not go to anymore, or was it just a one-time thing? Nearly melted after a trip to Universal. Man, let me tell you, I have not been to Universal Studios, and you guys are going to yell at me. I've not been to Universal Studios since 1995. With as many times as my wife and I go down to Disney, you'd figure we would pop in to Universal. It has yet to happen. Like I was saying earlier when we were talking about Halloween Horror Nights, our anniversary is at the end of September, and I was so close to convincing her to going down for Horror Nights for our anniversary, because they were doing a like buy 3 days, get 2 days free in the park. And I was like, oh, I think we can do this. And last minute, unfortunately, we couldn't. But we were really close. 90s and humid master. Yeah, it's 90s and humid up here or down here compared to you. You guys are way north. Totally different. Yeah, totally different part now. I think the only original ride that still exists from whenever I went is E.T. Because I'm pretty sure the entire park has just changed. I've not seen Islands of Adventure. Last time when I went, Islands of Adventure wasn't even a thing. So I haven't seen any of the Harry Potter stuff. I haven't seen any of the Islands of Adventure stuff. I haven't seen any of it. Booked a Universal trip for September because we've barely been except a day every like 5 years. That's fair. I would like to. I would like to go back as well. E.T. and horror makeup show. I don't remember the horror makeup show. So these are my Universal memories from 1995. I remember we got to the park. I remember we had a burger at Arnold's, and we rode Confrontation. I think it's the Mummy now. But I remember being on like a trolley car, and the car itself was suspended by cables, and you kind of went around a track. It's kind of what I remember. I had my heart set. On seeing the Ghostbusters show, but it was temporarily canceled. Not canceled. It was temporarily not being shown. Because that week that we were there was a special Marvel stage show. I have pictures somewhere in this closet back here. Back in like old disposable camera pictures. Back when disposable cameras cost like $17. There was some Marvel stage show. I remember seeing Wolverine, Spider-Man, Sabretooth. And I know like some other people were there. I just can't remember. Those are the main three that I remember seeing. What else did we see? Rode Jaws. And then we like to cap the day off, we rode Back to the Future, rode E.T. And what else? What was the ride that you kind of went in a subway car, and then like all the destruction happened, and like I feel like a giant wave of water came down some subway stairs. I can't remember the name of the ride. Disaster? Was that what it was called? Earthquake. Boom. I remember Back to the Future. I don't remember the ride video, but I remember the ride car, and I remember it being very like jerky. Earthquake was the one. Yes, correct. Earthquake. Oh, and what else did we do? So since the Ghostbusters show wasn't going on, they were still wandering around the streets as like street characters. And Beetlejuice was dancing on top of the Ecto-1. So of course, when I saw Beetlejuice, my 12-year-old self just said Beetlejuice, 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 really loud. And then he looked me dead in the eyes and pointed at me and said, "Hey, kid, shut up." And then he went back to dancing. And then I thought I legitimately did something bad. But then I realized, no, that's just Beetlejuice. We did Twister right before it closed. I didn't even know that Twister was a thing. Wait, what replaced Twister? I did I did know that was a thing. Something replaced it. Was it Fast and the Furious? Did that replace Twister? Jimmy Fallon. Either or. I do kind of want to go and see the Transformers section, even though I'm not a big fan of like the live action movies. The cartoons I love, obviously, because I got all these things up here, but and some of them back here. But I would like to go and get a picture with Optimus Prime. A friend of mine actually sent me. Oh God, I don't know where. The picture is. I didn't save it, and I should have. But somebody sent me a picture in a tweet. It was apparently in the the early '90s. There was like a Transformers meetup in the Hollywood Universal. So, but it was the actual like '80s cartoon Transformers, and I saw that, and I was like, well, I wish I would have known. Not that I would have been able to make it to Hollywood in the end of the '80s. I would have been like 6 or 7, but that would have been awesome to take a picture with OG Optimus Prime and some of the other Autobots. Jazz is my favorite Autobot. I would love to take a picture with Jazz. Probably keep this going for maybe another, I don't know, 8 or 10 minutes. I don't know. What do you guys think? I didn't know that I would have this much stuff to just talk about loudly to the internet for 37 minutes. So I am really like I'm excited that the parks are opening. I know that Universal has been open for a little over a month now, and I'm excited for Disney to open up. But I don't know when I'm going to be back at Disney. Earlier this year, my wife, we went in February, and if you haven't, or if you don't know, I vlogged it, and I've just been getting them out slowly. I think I have one left to edit and put out, but the bulk of the Disney vlogs from February 2020 should be up on the channel if you haven't watched them yet. We at the beginning of the year, we were actually thinking about investing in a dual coast annual pass for Disney, because we've not been to Disneyland yet, and that's something that we want to do, and that's something that we're like, all right, maybe if we invest in the annual pass now, we'll get our money's worth while we're at Disney World, but then also we can book a trip. I have to, oh, bless me. Oh, that was not a Rona sneeze, I promise. Cats around here. Ugh. Where was I? Oh yeah, no. So we were going to go to Disneyland at the end of the year, but then a global pandemic happened, and we do not feel comfortable going to a theme park at the moment. Not that I mean, I'm more than happy that other people have been going and checking it out and scoping out the parks and whatnot. I'm personally not comfortable just yet. Maybe given 3 or 4 months, maybe, and then we'll see what the fall has to do. So what's up, Sammy? So we'll see. We'll see. Got to hit the hay. It was cool. Glad you saw it, and glad I saw it. And we'll see. Take it easy, man. Have a good night. We're going one day at MK just to ride Splash, but I'm more nervous about Disney than I am Universal. Yeah, I think that's fair. So, allergic to my greatness, clearly. No, I'm allergic to dust. Yeah. I don't know. I don't have a follow-up joke for that. So yeah. Yeah. I want to go to Disneyland really bad. So, okay. Second part of that story is we were going to go to Disneyland at the beginning of December so we can go check out the Christmas stuff out there. And so obviously that's not going to happen. Just because we're probably going to wait till next year to do any kind of theme park stuff. But the original plan was Disneyland at the end of this year, and then next year in the fall we were going to go to Tokyo. We were thinking about going to Tokyo to go see Tokyo Disneyland. However, I don't think that is going to happen anytime soon. So that trip, I think, has probably been pushed back at least a year and a half, if not 2 years. So that is a bummer. Also, we would like to go check out Super Mario Land, Super Nintendo Land at the Universal Studios Japan. But I think by the time we even get out there, it's probably going to be open in Florida. I don't know. What was the ETA on Epic Universe? Wasn't it 2022, 2023? I'm sure that's grinding to a halt now. So, Sammy, I feel safer at uni than Disney, but it's not a huge difference. Fair enough. What's Diz? I want to do Tokyo so bad, but it'll be years. And I don't want to go to Tokyo just to do Disney. Like I actually want to go to Tokyo. Like I want to go to Japan. I want to go check out the culture. I want to go see temples. I want to go do a whole bunch of cool, touristy, traveler-y stuff. So, and I want to spend a lot of unnecessary money on Japanese toys that I'm gonna bring home and sit on the shelf and have them collect dust. Only hit up uni and you felt real safe. That's cool. All right. Yeah. I've actually been hearing a lot of really solid things about Universal and their safety precautions. I mean, I've seen all the vlogs. I watch a lot of the same YouTubers. I'm sure you guys do. If all of the videos are indicative of how the park is being run, then yeah, it seems like it's very safe. The date was 2023, but that has been quietly pushed back. Yeah, I figured it was going to be pushed back. I think Sam's right because his comment is we'll have Epic Universe by 2025. I think 2025 is probably the goal year at this point. Which sure, take all your time you need, but also. I really hope that this whole global pandemic thing kind of calms down a little bit. So, Nate, are you still watching in the background? If you're still watching in the background, I don't know, blink twice. I can't see you blink. Don't do that. That was dumb. Sam was right. Got it on video. No, I said I think Sam was right. Think. It's the key part of that sentence. Hold on. Wait. Buddy, I give you credit where credit's due. Don't think I'm like I sit here like naysaying you. I give credit where credit's due. Clap if you're still watching. I'm still watching. So I got these new glasses. What do you guys think of my new glasses? I was kind of a little iffy on the translucent frames, but I actually kind of dig them. And I actually got the blue light or the filter for the blue light. So I don't get headaches when I stare at my phone at 3:30 in the morning. on Bright. Just like having proof someone said it. That's fair. So, anyway, is anybody like reading any cool books? No. I feel like I have a whole bunch of books to read. Like this, I don't know. Can you guys see it? Like right here, there's this stack of books. Right, no, right there. Boom, that I purchased and haven't gotten around to. I'm a very slow reader. Like I enjoy reading, and I enjoy highlighting and putting notes in my margins and whatnot. That's just that's how I read, I guess. I blame college for that. Started the Institute. Good so far. Excellent. I've got that stack of stuff. I finally ordered a copy of the Iliad, which I'd never read before. But I figured if I ever eventually go to a master's or a PhD program, I should read that because I want to do ancient Greece. So I just had to figure out a certain translation, or whichever translation I wanted to get, but I couldn't remember which one was recommended to me, and I definitely wanted to get one that was in verse and not in prose. And I also wanted one with a good forward, so I had to go do some research for that. And I can't remember which one I bought. It's actually in the bedroom over there because I was reading it the other night before I went to bed. But yeah, so I picked that one up, and I've been reading that. I finished reading the Star Wars book that was written about Galaxy's Edge. It was called, it's just called Star Wars Black Spire. It's written by Delilah Dawson. Funny story, she's actually a friend of a friend, and I didn't even know that until my buddy was like, oh yeah, I'm friends with her. I'm sorry, what? So much so that my friend, she actually tooled my friend's name around and then put him in the book as a character in the book. So I thought that was pretty cool. I finished reading that, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was fun. It was a 400-page advertisement for Galaxy's Edge, but I'm okay with that because I can say that I've been there, and it's fun. Which Star Wars author was Delilah Dawson? Was her name? She wrote the Phasma book. She wrote the Black Spire, and she wrote a third one that's in between the two, and I can't remember what that one is called. But I thoroughly enjoyed it. So it was a quick read too. It was just one of the ones that the pages kept turning, and I was like, oh. So I got to listen to Black Spire. I have it on audiobook. I listened to Crash of Fate and loved that. What did I read? What was I reading before that one? So I was reading another Star Wars book before that one. And I went and I bought one of the, I guess, the old canon or the Legends books for Star Wars. It was the Darth Plagueis, because I wanted to know more about the person who trained Palpatine. But the book just ended up being a Palpatine book, which I'm not mad at. Like, you kind of get both of their stories, but I wanted more Plagueis. And I didn't realize that, I guess, in the old canon, Plagueis is very much alive during the bulk of the events of Episode 1. So everything up until Palpatine getting elected at the end of the film as Grand Chancellor, Plagueis is alive during that whole thing, and I thought that was very interesting. I didn't know that they were going to overlap that much. So I read that. I actually bought a whole bunch of books for work that I have to read. I'm reading Race and Reunion by Dr. David Blight, and it's basically about race reunion or race relations from the Civil War and Civil War memory up to now. I'm reading Black Confederates, the Civil War's most persistent myth by Kevin Levin, where he examines claims of Black Confederates, and he debunks all of them, giving ample evidence as to why that Black Confederates just weren't a thing. And I picked up, what else did I pick up? I picked up a copy of the Infinity Gauntlet because I haven't read that in 20 years. I actually have it right here. So I might take a break from actually like reading books and just read the Infinity Gauntlet. But I also bought this book right here called Dixie's Daughters by Karen Cox, who's a professor at North Carolina. And this is basically about how the United Daughters of the Confederacy, the UDC, essentially were able to control the writing of history after the Civil War. It's very interesting. When you study history, there's often this phrase, and I'm sure you've heard it. And Sam, I know you've heard it because we've discussed this before, where the victors write the history. Well, the Civil War is actually very interesting in the fact that it's one of the few, if not the only war that I know of, where the losers got to dictate how the history was written. So the United Daughters of the Confederacy start to dictate how history is written in the books, and that's where we get a lot of this, what we now call the lost cause mythology, and how any book that was taught Southern history in schools had to go through the UDC first, and the UDC tooled history around to make it look like the South was not wrong, and that they were fighting a very noble fight, when in actual, we all know that they were fighting for enslavement. We have tons of receipts. But anyway, that's what this book is about. It's examining how they rewrote or they essentially erased certain parts of history to promote what they wanted to say. Let's see. Sammy says, there is a book on cracker culture in Lakeland Antique Mall, and I was going to buy it and read it, but it's like $30. $30 is a lot of money for a book. Magic Geekdom, Jeremy and Kara, what's up, buddies? How you doing? How's your Saturday night going? How's Carly? Give Carly some pets for me. Infinity Gauntlet is great. I know. I'm looking forward to it. I want to read it. Let's see. What are some must-see historical spots in Georgia? Oh, whew. Oakland Cemetery, for sure. Actually, whenever Jeremy and Kara were up here a few weeks ago, I really wanted to take them to Oakland Cemetery, but we just couldn't fit it in. Oakland Cemetery is Atlanta's oldest cemetery, and it kept growing and growing and growing. There's a lot of very prominent people buried there. Margaret Mitchell, who wrote Gone with the Wind, she's buried there. Bobby Jones, the golfer, buried there. Maynard Jackson, Atlanta's first African-American mayor, is buried there. But a lot of the mausoleums there, it's architecture and art just all over the place, and it's amazing. Let's see. You could always stop by. There's a really cool museum in Atlanta that might be a center of history. So that I've been to a few times, and I recommend. That's a very cool historic spot. Let's see. What else? What else is in Atlanta? It's not necessarily a historic spot, but I highly recommend the aquarium. And then right across the little field by the aquarium is the Coke Museum. So since you can't get your Beverly at Epcot right now, you can easily get your Beverly at the World of Coke here in Atlanta. Let's see some other historic spots in Atlanta. There's a lot of historic houses. There's the Margaret Mitchell House. There's the King Center. There's the birthplace of Martin Luther King Jr. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., I should say. Yeah, we have a lot of historic house museums. There is an interesting museum in Kennesaw, Georgia. I actually did a vlog on it. About its main museum artifact is the locomotive known as the General. And if you've ever seen the Disney film, The Great Locomotive Chase, the General was a Confederate locomotive, and it was stolen by some Union spies not too far from where I live. And it was stolen and taken many miles north towards Tennessee. And then there was another locomotive that followed it, that was chasing it, called the Texas. And both of those locomotives are in the Atlanta, if not the metro Atlanta area. So seeing both of those are actually pretty cool. Atlanta Aquarium is dope. I watched one fish kill another and slide it along the glass for a good 15 feet. Blood will smear even underwater. That's very morbid. So, issue 2, Sam. Saturday night is going great. How about you? I'm doing this live stream. I had nothing else going on. It was either live stream or play Spider-Man. And I'm probably still going to play Spider-Man, so I figured I'd just pop in and do a live stream because I haven't done one in months. So I'm almost done with this hard seltzer that Chelsea Ghastly bought. So it's all right. Again, I didn't pay for it, so I'm not. Yeah. I'll drink whatever's in my fridge. 5 people in the chat. If you haven't said hello yet, please, by all means, say hello and join in. We got the Magic Geekdom here. We got Sammy Zimmerman. We got What's Diz. We have Skipper Bob's Breakdowns. Been playing Animal Crossing. All right, hold on. I bought Animal Crossing for my wife. Jeremy and I have actually had many conversations about this. So here's our Switch. I bought Animal Crossing for my wife. She never really plays games that doesn't have Mario in it, so I didn't think she was going to play this. I was wrong. She is at 420 hours. 420 hours for Animal Crossing. 420 hours. That is nuts. I feel like the longest I've ever played a game has been maybe 105, 110 hours. Not 420 hours. That is nuts. My wife doesn't. The next game that she's played the most is 60 hours. I wish someone told me how many great games are under $1 on the Switch. Yeah, there's a lot. There's some really cool ones. Actually, I'm gonna check now to see if there's anything cool on the deals. You played Oblivion for 500 hours. Holy shit. That's a lot. I've never played any of those games. Like those are all like the Elder Scrolls. Like Oblivion was an Elder Scrolls game, right? Yeah, I've got like 5, 6 games in my wish list, but none of them are on sale. So I will not purchase any of them. Great deal. What great deals are going on the Switch? I don't see anything too crazy. Nothing's jumping out at me. This game is only 19 cents. I don't want to play it, but it's 19 cents. Square Pegs on YouTube. He breaks down a bunch of cheap games on the Switch. Oh, nice. I've barely played the Switch since Animal Crossing has come out because my wife has been bogarting it. Which I'm not mad. That's, I feel like it's a stress reliever for her. She comes home from work, she plays Animal Crossing, and then she just unwinds from work. I did go to GameStop earlier this week, which I don't like going to GameStop. I don't like GameStop, and I don't want to support them. But one, I have a friend who manages a GameStop, so he always fills me in whenever there's cool stuff going on. But yeah, I went and I pre-ordered a couple of things. I pre-ordered the Paper Mario Origami King for Chelsea. That comes out next Friday, I think. And I don't know why. Like while I was there, I never really pre-order games for myself, just because I'll just get them when they come out. Like I don't need to pre-order something. Like when I can just walk in on a release day and get it. And I pre-ordered the Avengers game for the PS4. I saw the trailer, and the trailer looked really good, and I had just started playing the Spider-Man game, and allegedly they're in the same world. I'm not 100% sure. I was told that they were in the same world. So I'm having fun playing the Spider-Man game, so I figured why not. Also, Jeremy, I want to give you a shout out because you guys hooked me up with this ring light, and you can see it in the reflection of my glasses, and it's great. Thank you so much. I love it. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Tell Kara I said thank you so much. We do need to cart it up again soon. I think we definitely need to cart it up again soon, and I don't think we're doing anything tomorrow. Perhaps we can play some cart tomorrow. Maybe we can get Jake from the Mutineers in on it too, because I know that he really enjoyed playing Mario Kart with us those few times. I hope that we can we can all join the chat, and then just random people will jump in on the Mario Kart chat again. That was great. I know, I feel like we tell this story every time we hang out, but it's such a good story. It's a funny story. I'm game for a kart session. Man, we're always down for some Mario Kart action. I never liked playing video games online until I could play Mario Kart online. And to this day, I feel like that's one of two games I play online. No, it might just be the one game I play online. Huh. Oh, well. You're welcome. Thanks for putting it. Man, you guys know you always have a place here at Casa de Gasly. So I always have a spare room, and you're always welcome to it. I really hope that your controller that I mailed out to you yesterday gets to you soon. Sorry I didn't get that out sooner. I got distracted. I was planning on sending it out Wednesday, and then that didn't happen. So sorry again. DragonCon 2021. Buddy, so DragonCon 2021, I got rolled over. So I was supposed to speak at DragonCon this year, and I obviously got canceled. It's for the best, because 80,000 people in a confined space in downtown Atlanta sounds like a terrible idea right now. So my guest status got rolled over to next year, so I don't have to reapply. So that's awesome. Excuse me. But I also had a hotel booked for this year, which also rolls over. So I have a hotel. Kara says, "Great, we're moving in the next week. We're moving in next week." Hey, right here. It's right here. Come on in. So the hotel that I'm staying at, I'm splitting with 4 other people. So, Sam, as much as I would love to put you up for DragonCon 2021, unfortunately, I cannot do it that year. Get at me for 2022, and we can probably make something happen. I mean, you guys should just move to Atlanta anyway, just in general. Because, dibs. All right, Sam, you got dibs. It's fine. My beard is starting to get long again, and my mustache is starting to get long, so I'm started to do like the old villain mustache twirl. It's like the one thing I missed about having a longer beard and a longer mustache is that I didn't get a chance. I like to just go walk up behind people and go, yeah. and see what their reaction is. So I've kind of been doing this a lot lately. But it sucks because it's longer for me, Sam. All right. Like your beard is like a Medusa beard. Like I feel like it's going everywhere. It's much longer than my beard. This is long for me. All right. What was I saying? I can't remember what I was saying now. Whatever. I can't remember. Very, very Waluigi. Yeah, it is very Waluigi. Yeah. Yeah. 6 people in the chat, or 6 people watching. Feel free to say hello in the chat if you haven't already. We got Skipper Bob. I don't know if Jillian is still here, but we got Jillian from the What's Diz YouTube channel. We've got Skipper Bob Breaks Down, or Skipper Bob's Breakdowns, Magic Geekdom, and Sammy Zimmerman. Yeah, well, whoever popped in decided that they didn't want to hang out very long, so they just left. So, man, I should be saving money. I'm not, because I keep spending money that I don't need to be spending. So for the pandemic, I was buying a lot of these Transformers, and then I bought all the ones that came out. So I had no Transformers to spend my money on. So you'd think logic would tell you, no, I don't think anyone is saving money right now. Like whenever you have the entirety of online shopping and you're trying to buy stuff to keep you busy from not going out in a pandemic era world, I don't think anyone's saving money. But see, I've got this other chair. The only reason we have this second chair here is because the cats like to sleep on it. But I've got, like 3 weeks ago, I had 4 Marvel Legends figures. Now I have all these because I can't say no to buying dumb stuff. And I'm the worst. So I have a lot of these Marvel Legends figures now. So, and I just ordered like 4 or 5 more. Which one is my fave? Which one is my fave Transformer? Which one is my favorite Marvel Legends figure? Because I have a lot more Transformers right here on this shelf, right there. Both. Oh, that's a good question. I think my favorite Transformer is probably my giant Devastator. He's about 24 inches tall, and it's all of the Constructicons. It's like a newer version. I don't know if I can finagle the camera. Here, let's show and tell. Show and tell. Right here. That's probably my favorite one. This guy's a close second. That one's probably my favorite one. And I don't know, like these Marvel Legends figures that I just started getting. I don't know which one. Probably the Gambit is my favorite just because he's my favorite X-Man. But my favorite figure here is probably the Archangel. So I'm a 90s X-Men guy, so I've been trying to collect all of those. You had 1 Constructicon? I have in the closet. Like Hasbro was doing Walmart reissues of like Generation 1. They were exclusive to Walmart. And they did a Constructicon gift set. So obviously I had to go out and buy that. It's still in the box. I didn't open it just because I think the cool retro packaging looks nice and cool. But I used to have the original Constructicons. But yeah, there's that new Devastator. I say new, it's probably like 5 years old by now, but that's one of my favorites. So and I have more on order. Man, so God, I didn't want this to turn into like Transformers talk, but here I go. There is one of my favorite Transformers from growing up as a kid was a large Decepticon named Scorponok. So he was like this big, and he turned into a giant scorpion. And whenever they started making these newer giant figures, I was like, oh man, that'd be great if they made a Scorponok. Years went by, didn't make a Scorponok. They announced it back in February that they were finally making one, and I saw the pictures and it blew my mind. So I immediately pre-ordered one of them, and it was like way more money than I need to spend on a hunk of plastic. I can tell you that. But I bought it, and the site that I pre-ordered it from, it's technically not supposed to come out till September, but it says that it might ship as early as middle of this month. So I'm just eagerly awaiting my payment to get processed just so I can get this figure. And then once I get that, he might actually be my new favorite. As an 80s kid, my parents tried to get what they could, but ended up with a B-list Transformers and Insecticons. Oh, I remember a lot of those. I had a whole bunch of my friends had a whole bunch of those. I had some of those too. So the thing with my parents, especially with Transformers, because like Transformers in the 80s were pretty expensive. Like the main characters, like Optimus Prime was like a $25 toy. And in 1984, like that was a lot of money. I feel like a $25 toy from 1984 is probably about a $40 or $50 toy today, I think. Anyway, they were expensive. So my mom would always, she would, just so she wouldn't spend the money on a Transformer, every time we went down the toy aisle at Walmart, she would say like, all right, you can get one Transformer or you can get two GoBots, because GoBots were only like $3 or $4 or something like that. And I was like, what? I can get two? So of course I ended up getting two GoBots. I had tons of GoBots. I wish I still had some. I don't. I only have one GoBot up there, and that's only because a friend of mine gave it to me because he had an extra one. So, but I do remember those like the B-list Transformers and insect robots. A lot of bootleg transforming toys in the 1980s. There's also supposed to be a new Masters of the Universe line coming out sometime this year, and I have to stop. I have to draw the line somewhere. As much as I would love to have a whole bunch of those cool, like I eventually, my goal is to have this office be a 1980s and 90s toy museum. Like that's what I want. I need money to do that. So get me to 1,000 subscribers so I can start raking in that YouTube cash. That sweet $5 check YouTube cash. Let's see. There was a Taxi GoBot in the package at a thrift shop here for a while. Was it a lot of money? And was the package you get a Taxi? I don't know if I remember a Taxi GoBot. I was a kid who kept getting all the B-list toys. GoBots, Mask, Sega Master System. Man, let me tell you a story about Mask. I loved the cartoon. I haven't watched it in years, so I don't know if it holds up or not. But I always wanted a Mask toy. And I can tell you that I wanted it was the one with that was a 57 Chevy. It was green with all the flames painted on the side, and it kind of turned into a tank. That's the one that I wanted. That's the only one that I wanted. And I begged and begged and begged my mom to get it for me. And she would say no. And the reason I realize this now as an adult, the only reason she told me, no, I'm not getting it for you because it has a whole bunch of small pieces and you're just going to lose all the small pieces. And now I'm like, well, she also bought me a lot of Transformers and GoBots, which were small pieces and had a lot of small pieces. So that wasn't the reason. She just didn't want to buy it for me. So I never got it. And it's the one that I've always wanted. And I contemplate going back and buying one just for the shelf over here, but I just haven't gotten around to it. But I always wanted my buddy growing up, his name's Chip. He had all of the Mask toys. So whenever I would go to his house, like we would bust out everything. He had the Volcano base. He had the 18-wheeler. He had it was the red car with the doors swung open upwards so it could fly, and it had the was the purple Corvette that turned into a jet. God, he had all of them. They were great. Mask was my favorite. B-list my ass. Mask was some good shit, man. Mask was some good shit. You had that one? You son of a bitch. No, it's okay. I won one of those Chips Ahoy instant win games, won the little gas pump for the season. That was the road races. Oh, nice. See, the helicopter motorcycle. Yes, the little green helicopter motorcycle. I remember that one too. That was a good one. There was also like it wasn't a Formula One car, but it was almost like a large racing go-kart that turned into like a tiny jet. What else was there? There was the kid who had the robot that turned into like a little moped, which was cool. Wasn't there a pickup truck that turned into a speedboat? Or like they would open up and a speedboat would kind of like project out of it? The semi-truck was cool. Or the semi-truck was cool. Yeah, that one was a good one. I feel like there was a van that kind of, did the van turn into a tank? I can't remember. I need to go back and watch that cartoon. I had the Kid Robot set. Yeah, the Kid Robot set, that was cool. Oh, like now I'm looking up Mask toys. Mask toys. Mask. Picture archive. No, it's not what I want. Oh, there was a Formula One racer, and I forgot, but it split into like 3 parts. And the one I'm thinking of was hold on. It was a Jeep that turned into a speedboat. This is riveting YouTube. Just me looking at my phone. Yep, that's the one I wanted. That's the one I wanted. Never got it. Always wanted it. I should probably look that up on eBay. I wonder if I can get a decent price or get one for a decent price. Oh, there was the blue. It was like a helicopter that also turned into a jet. I thought it was kind of weird that you would turn in from one aerial vehicle to another aerial vehicle, but the colors were blue and red, and it just always reminded me of Cobra Commander, which is G.I. Joe and not Mask at all. Tonight on Let's Make Jordan Spend His Money. Man, listen, that is a constant, everyday thing. A big goofy missile shot out of the back of the semi, and the hitch part came off. Like, yeah, I do remember that. I do remember that now. Oh, okay. Here's the van thing that I was thinking of. So it didn't turn into a tank. It split open, and there was like an aerial vehicle on the inside. That's the one I was thinking of. Was it? I don't know. Like, I'm questioning everything now. Questioning everything. What is this? Oh, no. Hold on. I just found. So one of my favorite things about like toys in the 80s, especially like Transformers, is in every box you would get this fold out manual, or not manual, but this fold out catalog of all of the ones that were available. And I guess Mask did that too. So the one I was talking about that was a van that kind of cracks in half and kind of becomes a tank is this guy right here. I can't see what it was called because it's a little blurry, but that's the one I was thinking of. So I had the helicopter. What an unwieldy toy. The motorcycle with the submarine sidecar. Had that one too. Yep, that was a good one. So, but yeah, this is the Transformer that I'm waiting to come out. Oh, I can't wait. It's going to be like 25 inches tall or something like that. I saw today, speaking of Marvel Legends, Hasbro yesterday announced that they're doing one of their like crowd-funded figures for the Sentinel. and it's like $350. I do not have $350, so I will not be crowdfunding it. But it's apparently 26-inch tall Sentinel, and it's needed 6,000 backers. And as of it was announced probably around like noon yesterday, and as of 2 p.m. today, they met their goal of 6,000, and they're going for 3 stretch goals of 1,000 each, so up to 9,000. And then you get to unlock bonus stuff that it comes with. So they just unlocked the no, if it gets to 7,000, they'll unlock the first bonus round. But man, $350 for a Sentinel is a lot of money. It looks really cool. And if I had $350, I'd probably throw that money at it, but I don't. So, but it looks really awesome. Still waiting on a Marvel Legends slapstick. Holy shit, that is a deep cut. Man. You know what? Me too. When is that going to happen? I was actually talking with a friend of mine. We were kind of talking about what we would like to see in future Marvel Legend lines. I think a Hellfire Club line would be really cool, and the Build-A-Figure would be the Black Queen from the Dark Phoenix saga. Whenever Sebastian Shaw had essentially gotten Jean under his control, I thought that would be a really cool set. And then I would like to see another Age of Apocalypse set. They just released an Age of Apocalypse set, and the Build-A-Figure was the Sugar Man, which is a really, really cool figure. But I would like to see another Age of Apocalypse line with like maybe Magneto, Rogue, a Sabretooth, because there's a Wild Child figure. Who else was there? Like a Cyclops? I'm trying to think of who else I said. But anyway, like the thing that'd be cool if they did a Nemesis or Holocaust. I don't think they would get away with using the name Holocaust these days, but his previous name was Nemesis, so they might go back and use that name. If they did a Nemesis Build-A-Figure, I think that would be cool. I'd throw money at that. For Tree Giddy, you could get a good Sentinel statue. Yeah, so here's the thing, like statues look cool, but I'm not a fan of just like stationary statues. Like if I'm paying $350 for something, like I would love for it to have articulation and to be able to pose it and everything like that. Statues look great, and I have so much friends that collect the statues, but man, if I'm dropping $300 and plus, I wanna be able to at least like move its arms and have it have some kind of articulation. Slapstick is literally my favorite Marvel character. That is a good one. Man, I have not even thought of Slapstick in years. That is nuts. Should probably rebuy some old graphic novels and reread them, because I haven't. Like, I feel like it's probably been 20 years, 25 years since I've read the story of Venom. Is there a Moon Knight? Skipper Bob's Breakdowns. I'm glad you said that, because yes, they actually just released a Moon Knight figure for Marvel Legends. However, it is apparently just a Walgreens exclusive. Walgreens has a really cool toy section, apparently, because they've had tons of really cool exclusives show up for Marvel Legends there. But yeah, if you want a Moon Knight figure, check your local Walgreens, because they were just released this week. So keep an eye out. Yeah, Walgreens. Believe it or not, Walgreens actually has a really solid toy section. It's not very big, but they carry stuff that you'd find at like Target or Walmart. Not those like rinky-dink drugstore toys that you and I grew up with in the 80s and 90s, but like legit. I bought Marvel Legends there the other day, and they're the same price, like $20. Preacher and the Boys are the only rereads I have ever gone well for me. I feel like that's fair. That's fair. Like a lot of the stuff, probably great when we read it in the 90s, not so great in 2020. I do want to reread The Age of Apocalypse, though. I feel like I have It's probably been 20 years since I read that, and I remember really liking it as a kid. I had all the toys from the Toy Biz line as a kid, so yeah, I'd like to revisit that one. There's a Moon Knight on sale at Walmart for $4.50. What is going on at your Walmart? Am I going to have to send you on a Marvel Legends trip to see if you can find a Doctor Doom? I've been trying to find a Doctor Doom Marvel Legends figure. Was CVS and Wawa full? I don't know. I've actually not checked CVS. I don't know what their toy sections look like. We have a Walgreens right around the corner from us, so like whenever we pop in, I always check out, and they always have some cool stuff. I have a Doctor Doom on order. It's a restock. I highly doubt that they're going to get restocked though. So I'm very, very much anticipating the site that I ordered it from to just cancel it because I don't think they're going to get any more in. So anyway, everybody, I unfortunately have to end this because my battery on my laptop is approaching 12%, and I do not want to. I don't want to this to just power down right in the middle of our conversation. So I want to thank each and every one of you for coming out and checking out the live stream. You could have done something fun on Saturday night, but you chose to listen to me for some reason. But if you haven't checked out some of the newer videos, I've got some newer videos. Go check out Jillian's channel, What's Diz. Go check out James's channel, pretty cool vlog. Go check out Magic Geekdom's channel, Skipper Bob. Check out all the cool stuff as well. Yeah. I hope, did I leave her? Nate popped in. Go check out Nate's vlog, Paging Mr. Morrow. And go check out Sam's hot sauce company, Monster Kids Hot Sauce. So I backed it, and I'm looking forward to getting my hot sauce in a couple months here. So you guys take it easy, have a good night, and we'll see you real soon.